years now?
I've been as mandatory for 2 years, you know, and that's on the WBA for not forcing that fight. I don't know why they did it. I was denied time and time again, so it's, you know, bullshit.
Do you feel like this fight you got is setting you up for the winner of Fulton and Figueroa?
Yeah, 100%. That's what me and my team expect. You know, we got to come out this fight clean, dominate, look good. But we want the winner for Figueroa-Fulton.
Now, you know, we know you have that martial arts background along with being obviously a good boxer. So what kind of style can we expect from you on Fight Night, man?
Oh man, you know, it's hard to say. You know, any which way, it's gonna be an exciting fight. It's gonna be a war because I'm fighting a guy who wants to come forward. All he knows how to do is come forward. He doesn't know how to box. He doesn't know how to counter punch. He comes forward, he throws punches, and he's an extremely tough fighter. You know, he's tall, he's long. You know, he's gonna be a fighter, a Latino fighter. You know, so we'll see. You know, you gotta tune in to find out.
You know, against a style like that, you have the potential to make it a crowd pleasing fight, but at the same time, you do that too much, you get caught up right in the other guy's style and whatnot. So how are you approaching that? Do you feel like let me show out for the fans a little bit, or is it just win every round and who cares how you get the victory? You know.
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to listen to my trainer, but most importantly, I'm going to trust my instincts. You know, I'm going to trust my instincts when I'm in there. You know, so if I want to turn a southpaw, if I want to stay orthodox, if I want to go left or right, if I want to counter punch. If I want to box, if I want to go forehead to forehead, you know, it depends on what he gives me. It depends on what he's trying to do. You know, I have multiple paths to victory. I can do multiple things while I'm in the ring. So it just depends on what he's trying to do.
And Bobby, man, you know, obviously you're the coach, so usually the coach watches tapes on the opponent even more than the fighter. What do you think about this fight coming in? What's Baez bringing, and what does Ra'eese do to disarm anything he's got?
Well, I don't get too deep into the film. I watched a few rounds. That's all you need really is a few rounds, because a fight is based off of round one, with different attributes or different scenarios. So basically, as you get deeper in the fight, fatigue sets in, you know, content sets in, all kinds of things. But for Baez is long. But the key thing is he doesn't use his length. He wants to fight forehead to forehead. He wants to get on the inside. But he's a rangy guy, but he doesn't use that range. He doesn't use the leverage. Can't give away too much of the game. Like,
right. Too much of the game. But Bobby, too, with Ra'eese having that martial arts background, do you think it brings something unique to how he throws punches or how his style is?
Completely different. Because now he's a textbook boxer and an unorthodox martial artist.
Right.
His first step is world class. Nobody can keep up with his first step. Nobody can, and it doesn't matter how long you are, how much leverage you have. Nobody can keep up with his first step. And I've honed it into a completely different level, different dimension.
Could you guys break down in boxing what that first step means? We know what it means in basketball, but what does it mean in boxing?
Being able to push off your back foot, get in and out, quick, very fast.
Get in without getting hit.
Yeah, get out without getting hit. First step.
So if you gotta use head movement, Bob needs to get in, do it, get it out. But the objective is to get in without getting hit and get out
without getting hit.
Sean Porter does that sometimes, right?
But not at the level, not at the same level. Because he's coming with a punch at a different angle no one's ever seen. Because all boxers are trained for 3 basic punches: straights, hooks, and uppercuts.
Right.
He has the in-between that you're not ready for with a fast elite first step.
Got some different sauce.
Yes, different sauce. Yeah, different sauce. Yeah.
And that's exciting to watch. You know, different styles.
Yes.
It's always fun to see a new style. You know?
Yes.
But what do you guys think, Ra'eese? What do you think about the main event Saturday night, or next Saturday night? Who do you think wins, Fulton or Figueroa?
I think that's going to be an exciting fight. I think Fulton wins. I think he goes out there and boxes. You know, if he goes out there to try to get the knockout, I think that's how he loses. Figueroa's only path to victory is kind of doing what he did to Lewis and Neri. Go out there, overwhelm him, put your body on him, use your forearm, do whatever you got to do. You know, those veteran moves. And I think Figueroa has to stop Fulton to win. Fulton just has to go out there and box.
Will Figueroa just get hit too much in that fight?
Yeah. Figueroa has no defense, no head movement. You know, he comes forward. You know, he can get hit with everything in the kitchen sink as long as you can throw it.
Do you look at Fulton as outside of yourself the best guy in the division?
Well, yeah, outside of myself, because I think I'm the best fighter in the division. I've heard a lot of people think that he is the best in the division. So, you know, if he wins, that's who I want to fight next, because people think that he's the best, so I want to beat the best.
Would you go to Philly for that? I mean, would you go anywhere?
I don't really care where it's at. You know, I really just want the opportunity. You know, I would rather it be here in Vegas, because this is the fight capital of the world.
And I know we touched on this earlier. We were talking, but do you feel like you gotta put on a show to make sure they put you in there with the winner of the fight?
Well, probably. You know, like I'm trying to make a statement. Period. You know, whether that does that or not, you know, I'm doing that for me. You know, I want to earn new fans. You know, each and every time I step in there. You know, so by me doing what I do, yeah, I expect that.
Yeah, I guess that just means, you know, you gotta be wary of the riggedy out stuff, right? Where even if you win every round, they're like, man, we're not putting this guy on TV. But you never fight like that. You know?
No, that's not my style of fight. I want to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? I want to embarrass you. I want to win. I want to stop you. You know, I've stopped my last 7 opponents. You know, so I can do it early. I can do it late. But I'm trying to hurt you.
You think you stop Baez?
I believe it's possible. If I stay true to the fighter that I know I am, yeah, I believe I stop him.
And it's part of you, you know, again, you called out Ahmed Ali after 2 years, the man's mandatory, but is part of you happy that, okay, that's the fight I wanted and it never happened, but you might get a better unification fight anyway?
Yeah, you know, just my path to the world title will be different, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna happen. I won't be denied, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming. Team Aleem, Ra'eese Aleem, I'm coming.
And to this Ra'eese, talk about, if you can, you know, being, I guess, a little bit of in boxing a late bloomer, and why that won't matter, you know, fighting guys who may have done it since they were 6, 7, 8, the amateurs. You know?
Well, I mean, I've gone 2 to 2.5 years without a fight at 2 different times in my career, but I stayed in the gym, I stayed training.
5 minutes, I forgot.
You know, I've been a sponge. You know, I haven't been in wars. I take care of my body. So, I mean, although I'm a late bloomer now, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got that man strength while I'm in there.
Well, we'll see what happens November 27th, man. Looks like we might be on a collision course for yourself and the winner. Good luck to you, Ra'eese. Good luck to you, Bobby. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, fellas. I actually forgot. Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. All right, he's coming to you.
Yeah.
It's just instantaneous. Playing fights for Brian Custer, like, for so
Thanks,
long.
brother.
But she loves it. She's like, Steve, I'm like, really into this.
Thanks, Bobby.
Where's you know, it's like I gotta go somewhere. Yeah. What time you pulling up tonight? Oh, shit, it's over! Mandalay. What time you getting there tonight?
I'll be early. As early as I can. Yeah. I gotta go back home. I left some stuff at my house.
12. I chose this one.
Hey, Keith.
Is that my man, Money Mike? What's up, big dog? What's up, Playboy? Boxing journalist out here.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good,
I'm good.
Nice to meet
Good. She doesn't even know she's good. One of her teammates was like a bully. She just wasn't sure on goal because her dad gets the game or whatever. And Lily had like a wide open goal. She about to kick it in. The white girl stole it. She kicked it in. Like, and then it's like, what the fuck? Like, she was, it goes crazy. But today, I kind of gave her a little favor. Like, you gotta be aggressive.
With Brian Norman. I wonder how
What they now, this is what I'm talking about, first step, so you know everybody. Coming this way. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, he does. No, you're right. You're right. That is what jumps out about him. Is his movement. Yeah. Movement in turn, you know, it's not just lateral.
Like I told him, we haven't even shown everything.
Right.
He's left-handed.
Right.
We ain't showed that yet.
You can switch.
Yeah, he's left-handed.
Got some swag today too. Got the jacket. All right, folks. For Fight Hype, we'll be right back. We're just waiting on Stephen Fulton to show up and go ahead and kick off his interviews, kick off his press conference for his fight next week with Brandon Figueroa. So we just got Ra'eese Aleem over here. So just keep it locked in, and we'll be back shortly. Thanks, guys.
I watch a lot of your shit.
Next to him was 23. He just had a great belt. That's okay.
Facts, yeah. What Al wants.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've been paid. He actually should have his name. Got all the procedures. He beat his area.
I don't think I'm going to. I don't go to every one of the fights, but yeah.
And then next week,
Yeah, I'll be there with, yeah.
Sure. Yes, please. Cranberry juice. Thank you.
Right here, real quick. This camera right here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys.
And now straight back for showtime.
Next on the menu.
Great.
Good luck, guys.
Anybody else?
Got him. All right.
One last picture, gentlemen. You hold that, please.
Oh,
Thank you. WBO.
Yeah.
Looking good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Representative, you got the champion one.
Thank you. Hey, thanks.
NABO champion. That's what we're fighting.
Yeah.
27. NABO.
thanks, buddy. All right, man.
What's up, man?
Over here.
Yeah.
What's up, Steven? Sam Board, Las Vegas Review Journal. Nice to meet you, man. Welcome to Vegas.
Appreciate it. Oh, you from Vegas?
I'm from Minneapolis. I live out here now.
Wow.
Twin City.
This is our Vegas sports guy right here.
This is it, right? This is you're in the fight capital of the world. It's your first time fighting in Vegas. When did you first envision that this was going to be, part of your destiny?
Honestly, I fought in Mesquite, Nevada for the Junior Golden Gloves. So after that, I knew like, damn, I'm gonna be out here fighting when I turn pro. But I didn't know when. I just knew I would.
Does it have a different feel to it now that you're here?
It has a different feel because that was the amateurs. This is the pros. But more so, I'm not focused on the field right now. I'm just focused on getting the job done and winning at that point.
How do you compartmentalize, hey, this is a dream for you, this is where you work to get to, knowing that you got bigger and better things on the horizon and you handle business next Saturday?
I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I feel like I'm here for a reason. I don't take everything and let the bright lights and nothing get to me or get the best of me right now. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This I feel like this was made for me. I was made for this.
Is that?
And I take that mindset and I go in and I just do my thing.
So you're from Philly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the mentality of Philly. When did that get instilled in you? How did that mentality develop?
I feel like how I was raised, the things I was raised around, the things I seen growing up. My mom raising me without a single mother, for three other females. So it was like I had to be tough in my own ways. And then when my father came home and got me into boxing, it just was I was already Philly.
Yeah. So what appealed to you about boxing? Why did you start? Why did you want to do this?
My father came home and got me into boxing. So it was like I didn't want it. Like, he came home, tried to, build a little relationship. I was 10 years old. First time of me really being around him was when I was 10, when he came home.
Yeah.
So by the time I hit like 12, he just tried to get me into something. I ain't had no trophies as a kid. I was being around a bunch of females. So once he got me in the sport of boxing, I'm competitive. I wanted to be better than the ones that was on my team, and that's what I did.
How long did it take for you to fall in love with boxing? Was it right away, or when did that actually click?
I feel like I gotta say right away because how competitive I am. I wanted to be better than them, and once I started getting good and they went to tournaments, I said, I want to go to a tournament and compete too. And right then and there, I'm like, that's what I want to do. I was running daily. I was working out. Then, of course, I had my times where it got a little boring, but I stayed on track.
How did you power through that when it was boring?
I feel like that was God. I feel like, God keeps you on a certain path. Certain things that we question ourselves, like, man, you don't even know how you stayed on track. You just did. I feel like that's the path that God made for you, honestly.
Yeah. At what juncture, right, whether it be in the amateurs, whether you turn pro, did being a world champion, did this stage become a goal?
When I turned pro.
Right away?
Yeah, when I turned pro, I said, all right, this is what I want to do. I said, this is the first weight class I've came in when I turned pro, so super bantamweight division. And I became a champion at my first weight class. Now, the second fight of being a world champion, I'm unifying. Then hopefully, once we get past this fight, we can unify again to become undisputed. But ever since I turned pro, that was my ultimate goal, was to become undisputed at this weight class. And right now, everything's in line for me to do that.
What do you feel like is going to be too much for Brandon Figueroa on fight night?
I feel like my ability to adjust and outthink him will be too much alone, without not including the speed and my underrated power.
Mm-hmm. You threw, what was it, like about 1,000 punches?
Like
against
1,300, 11 to 1,300, something like that.
So do you feel like, the counter punching and stuff's going to slow down his output, or we're going to get two guys throwing over 1,000 punches?
I feel like we're definitely going to, I feel like the fight is himself, and the fighter I'm fighting is definitely going to bring out more than 1,000 punches himself because of the type of fighter he is, as well as me making him miss and making him pay for his mistakes, and him trying to do the same for me.
What do you think about his size and pressure?
Size, I always been rumbling the big dogs, especially from where I come from. Size is he may be bigger than me, but right here we eye to eye. Power, we're eye to eye. Weight-wise, we're eye to eye. I'm just as big as him. But a lot of people don't see that. I'm just as big as him. Trust me.
This is the ninth undefeated guy you're going up against?
My 9th undefeated.
In only your 20th fight? Why do you feel like you've had to come up this way?
I feel like everybody have a different path, and this is the path that I've had. This is the path that I've took, along with a lot of these fights I shouldn't have took. And now that I'm here, and I realize that, but it made me a better fighter, and made for a better story and the storyline of my life. And now look at me. Now I get to brag, and I'm doing things that other fighters is not doing.
How satisfying is it for you to take somebody's
Oh, that shit real. That feel good, honestly, because now I get a kick out of doing it. Now that's what I look forward to doing. I'm willing to fight the other undefeated guys to become their first loss and to mentally dethrone them, not just physically, but mentally dethrone them. I gotta forever live with them. They forever live with my name on their resume, honestly, and that's how I look at it. And I started feeding off of that, and I started yearning more undefeated guys.
Because usually that's when they're hardest to break them, right? When they ain't
Exactly.
lost before, they don't know how to lose.
Exactly. It's more so of who won it the most. Nobody wants to be defeated, so they're going to do everything they can to beat me when I already been through 8 undefeated fighters already, and I know how to win against 8 different styles of undefeated fighters. So it's like whatever he brings to me, I will already be able to capitalize, and I already know how to defeat.
Do you feel like in this fight you won't just show you're the best 122 pounder, but maybe one of the best fighters in the world, period?
Yes, I believe this fight will show pound for pound status and my abilities. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it out there.
Because watching the Leo fight, it's like this guy might not just be good, he might be elite.
A lot of people said that. It's like I showed a different side that a lot of people didn't know I had and didn't see in me, but I knew I had it all along because this is how I get down when I'm in the gym. But it's like now I'm more open. I don't give a fuck because this pandemic made me not give a fuck. I lost opportunities. I lost a lot. I had to deal with a lot. I had to, go through, not just me, but everybody. I know you probably feel like you don't give a fuck about certain situations, dealing with a lot of losses that you didn't took during this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at that point, why not risk it all? It's like, well, we already seen what this world has to offer. Why not risk it all at this point?
Yeah.
Why give a fuck? Take your chances, take your opportunities.
Yeah, I've shed some fucks in the last year. I have. But, speaking of the monster at 118 in Niue, what if he ever jumped up to you guys seem like you got some other fights to take care of right now, but what if he ever jumped up and wanted that smoke at 122?
I mean, if he jumped up, it had to be in a matter of when he jumps up. Because I at this point, get past Brandon. If that fight is next for as MJ, we out of here. If he not there in time, we out of here. I'm not going to sit around and wait for somebody. Because at the end of the day, he won't just be the cash cow. I will be the cash cow as well.
Right. You got your own thing going on.
Yeah, I got my own thing going on.
Talking to Sam earlier about you had to be tough having the 3 females in the house. Was it to protect them kind of thing because you were the man of the house for a little while there? Or
it was more so I had to learn that protectives because, growing up with women, you tend to have female tendencies like always crying or complaining and things like that. Exactly. So it's like I had to learn how to get out of those ways, and I'm still learning how to get out of certain ways like that. So it's like that was that. I feel like you can say that was a part of me. I feel like you can say that was a part of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you feel like you stopped Figueroa, or this is going 12?
Yes, I feel like I don't feel like it's going 12. I don't feel like it's going 12.
Is part of you surprised that he's getting in the ring? Because it's like, it's a good-looking kid, 23 years old, Mexican, got the green belt. You would think they want to milk that a little bit before they throw him in there with a killer.
How things was orchestrated, he was bound to walk into me either way. See, at first he was calling me out of my career, then, things took a turn. And once we fought on the same card 2 times in a row, and I got stoppages as well as he did, it was like, we're going to, orchestrate this thing, go around it. But now we here. There's no need for him to. That's why I feel like he's saying this may be his last fight at 22.
Yeah, you feel like if it were really up to his team, they would have sidestepped you,
Yeah, but it wasn't up to them. They've signed contracts prior to the Neary fight that the winner will fight me. So it was like it was no getting out of that.
Right. You might have been hoping Leo pulled it off. But.
Yeah. No matter how they looked at it.
And just lastly, too, man, Jaron Ennis. What do you think of that kid and working in the gym with him all these years?
He a beast.
You feel like he beat either of the guys fighting tonight, Sean and Terrence?
I feel like, hell yeah. And I say that because not that we're from Philly. I've been around. I've seen him train. His reflexes, his defense, his punch output, his stamina. You don't even see the guy sit down in the corner really. Mm-hmm. And he's young. He's hungry. They wouldn't give him an opportunity, and I understand why. I'm not saying like give him an opportunity, but I understand why. Because if that was me, like would I have given him the opportunity? I mean, I would have, because that's just who I am. But it's like I don't know.
Is his defense as on point? Because it seems like he hasn't had to have it on point as much, and he's trying to look spectacular, right? He's sometimes you're gonna get touched when you're trying to get a guy out of there. But he's been getting, just we nitpick when guys are as great talent as he is. You look for holes. Is that defense you think going to be as on point as the offense?
The defense is going to be on point as the offense. I feel like sometimes his defense he be so in shape that he'll get there faster than his opponent and may get caught with something dumb. Mm-hmm. But he'll definitely see it and try to get out the way. But he get there. He be in so much shape that he get there faster than his opponent be throwing that punch.
But
you feel like obviously he could beat the two guys that are fighting tonight. Do you feel like he's the best welterweight in the world?
Yeah, as of right now, yes. He's the youngest. He's the hungriest. He's the more fit. More when we talk about now resume wise, I gotta give it to the other guys because you can't overlook them. Like they fucking world champs.
Right.
But I feel like he's definitely ready to show and prove that he's one of the best in the world.
What is it about Philadelphia that makes great fighters?
How we come up, how we raise, the streets. What we seen in the streets. It don't just have to do with household. This goes a long way in the streets and the shit that goes on in the streets, honestly. And you don't learn a lot of Philly ways in your household. Your mom and your dad wants you to be different than others. What you learn, that Philliness comes from the streets.
Do you feel when you're in Philly, do you feel the tradition, the history, the boxing history that's there? I
get that. I get that from guys that don't even box. Like if you go and talk to somebody that's from Philly, you are the aura, the persona. You automatically get like, wow, why? So imagine you talking to a Philly guy, you automatically gonna see why why the boxers the way we are. Including we know how to fight. So it's like the Philliness plus know how to fight. Put that together, it's like, all right, I see why they like that. Because the guys that don't even box is exactly like that. They just don't know how to box.
Right.
and it's a down-to-earth attitude, isn't it?
Yeah,
Philly
for sure, yeah.
And just last for me, man, did you guys ever spar? You and Boots as kids?
Yeah. We sparred as kids recently, like, probably did a couple rounds, tech sparring. It was always real good work. Like we don't like try to knock each other heads off. We always be working on things. But it's always me and him very competitive. We both cancers, so we're very competitive.
But thank you, Boo. I almost said Boo. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Steven.
No, I appreciate it.
Can't wait for that fight, man. That's gonna be one of the fights of the year. Can't wait.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Really
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, together that works well together. Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. Huh?
Yeah.
See you, Sean. See you, Paco. You guys have a good one. Take care. Have a good one, man.
Thank you.
See you, Sam. I'll see you at the fight, brother.
Yep, no doubt.
Yep.